Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're back here on Corpse Party Blood Drive, and last time we finished up chapter 0. Now we're on to chapter 1. And I don't know how we're going to feel about this. Returning. Because when we last were there, we saw Ayumi had some baby teeth in her hand, and because she couldn't open her hand. So she opened it up finally, and she had some baby teeth there. Okay, so a day had passed since the events of the apartments. Okay. Significant turning point for me and Mochida might have been part of it from the start, except the fate that seemed to have other plans for him. I have something pressing I needed to get to, so if you'll excuse me. Sit back down, Satoshi. Your score on algebra quiz yesterday was rather embarrassing, don't you think? Like an owner training a puppy, she gave him a strong glare and held up her index finger in reprimand. For the next hour, I'm going to give you a personal lecture, and you're going to listen. But aren't you an English teacher? Isn't algebra a little bit outside your field of expertise? Anything's possible if you put your mind to it. She seemed a little taken aback by that remark, puffing out her cheeks like a chipmunk in protest. But it's startling how alike she and Miss Yui are. Aww. I'm sorry. Looking both bemused and guilty, Mochida tried to get up and leave his seat in a swift motion, but easily caught lifted up and forcefully sat back down. She was smiling, but she was actually enjoying this. What am I dealing with here? She has special contacts, okay? She was only a slightly bit taller than Mochida. This did make her taller than average, but her arms are small and frail. It doesn't seem like she could possibly lift someone of his build. This bewildered him and made him no attempt to hide his confusion. Let's begin, shall we? You cannot stop. He had no other option. Apparently, he was going to have to study algebra for the next hour, come hell or high water. Meanwhile, at the local cafe near school, Kishinuma and I were sitting down to speak with Ayuko Niwa, the informant who led my friends to the previous night. Oh, your hand still messing with you? Oh no, she said stomach, okay. Rubbed her abdomen with her other hand. Had urged to pee, okay. What is wrong with me? I mean, I know I got really scared and hyperventilated, but this affected my body too? Did it change something in me? My bladder feels like it's fit to burst. Just go to the bathroom! Oh, so where shall we begin? Aiko tilted her head and stared at me, looking at me up and down, judging my mannerisms by every movement. It was making me feel rather self-conscious. I covered my abdomen with both hands, guarding it from her gaze. Thank you very much for your help yesterday. I only regret that your friends couldn't get there sooner. The academy is quite large. It took some time to track down the others. Kishinuma and I stared at one another. How do I feel about the strange new addition to our entourage? Is she actually going to be a part of the group? That's the thing that I don't know. Ayumi, you two are the survivors from Heavenly Host, are you not? Oh, how do you know that? The music changed. We'd pledged never to discuss Heavenly Host to anyone else. But now, casually and out of the blue, here we were. How do you know that? Well, you've been touched by the Everafter. When people come in contact with the Beyond, the color of their auras changes. And she can see that. We were speechless. I sat there, staring at my palms, trying to see my aura. You said you were an intelligence agent for the supernatural. You're friends with Nahos? That's correct. I'm the one who tipped her off about Heavenly Host Elementary, in fact. Oh, you're the reason. The true source of the deaths and erasures that had been turned to our lives into living nightmares was the Sachiko Everafter ritual. She had been a fan of Nahos for a while, and yeah. Yeah, I'm aware you know of Naho's involvement in supernatural investigations. Yeah, she's the one who posted the Sachiko Everafter charm. Okay, she gathers data for supernatural hotspots and locales and sells the data to my clients. Not only money, mind you. I do my dirty work in exchange for a particular spirit item. Give or take. They want my information, I want their cash, or their artifacts. Physically, she was an attractive lady, but personality-wise, the jury was still out. Her words were calculated and emotionless. Her true intentions a mystery. One could call me an information dealer. My information on a Heavenly Host proved to be her last purchase, however. Yeah. Could you tell me, was Naho there, in that other world you found yourself trapped in? Naho died, together with Kibiki. I looked down as I answered. She'd become one of Heavenly Host's lost souls, and went berserk. I was the one who finished her off. I see. I assumed as much. She seemed unaffected by the revelation. Her tone remained even, cold and distant. Honestly, I had about enough of her at this point. She was so devoid of empathy. Almost offensive. I was genuinely starting to get pissed off. You're okay with that? I do feel sorry for her. Don't get me wrong. But I had a strong feeling it would end this way. Kishinuma continued to stare intently at Akio. Aiko? Okay. I clenched my fist. What about this girl? I believe she performed the ritual alongside Naho. Did you see her there as well? Yeah, I know about her. You guys don't think saw her. No, I can't say I've met her. I see. Aiko's expression was so unfaltering I could carve it into stone. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to say something. If you're calling Naho your customer, I don't think you can really say you were her friend. Oh my! Do you have something against that word? When I deal with my customers, I give them a guaranteed utmost quality, and dedicate myself to their satisfaction. It's an unbreakable bond of trust. You can say about friendship now, is it? I had no idea what to say. Her response felt carefully rehearsed, like a sales pitch. I do want to thank you for helping to save Shinozaki yesterday. But spreading dangerous information just to pay your bills? How can you sleep at night? Like a baby. Information is just that, information. It's harmless on its own. There's no good or bad. It's like a tool. It's up to the recipient how it's used. Anything can be harmful in the wrong hands, after all. Why, that cup over there could be used to kill a man, just as easily as any knife. Jaime, do you agree? I'm sorry, but I hate the way that you feel. You think. I feel it. It's irresponsible. Aww. Her expression remained calm and collected. Well now, seems like I've come to regard as something of a villain here. I can't say this is new or unexpected, but I never cease to dishearten. It doesn't matter now anyways. We destroyed Heavenly Host. It's gone. Oh, is that what you think? An awkward tension filled the room, or at least our table. Let's get into business then. That's the reason I sought you out. Something I wanted to discuss with you. She pulled out a hard-bound file folder from a light blue bag. Among them were a family tree and numerous pages of black magic symbology. Oh, black magic spell charts. And is that the Shinozaki family tree? You may find what I'm about to tell you a bit shocking. Aiko is looking directly into my eyes now. Her gaze was fixed intensely and unblinking. What Kishinuma said a moment ago is incorrect. What do you mean? Heavenly Host Elementary has not been destroyed. It still exists even now. Take a good look at this. Oh, Aiko placed a black and white photo on the table. It wasn't a clear picture, but there was no doubt its location depicted Heavenly Host. In the picture, a small girl had been standing in one of those all too familiar hallways, holding a hatchet in her right hand. It's Heavenly Host. Where did this come from? We have confirmation then. It's a thoughtograph. This is the current state within Heavenly Host. What am I looking at? I can't even describe what was going through my head at that moment. It felt like I was going to burst. Aiko, however, remained calm as ever. Let's start at the beginning. First, the red box from yesterday. I was able to open it and found these spirit items contained within. Makina's futon? Inside it were apparently two stones resembling magatama? Kama-shaped ceremonial objects from Japanese antiquity. Oh my gosh. Several more lovely hewn stones. Also, the edges containing crumpled pieces of thin white paper. Unfortunately, most of the box's contents were broken or damaged. This pair, however, was still fully intact. Oh, hey, that's the symbol that we saw in the beginning. Okay. Looked almost like demented version of yin and yang symbols. Aiko held them one stone in each hand and was motioning them toward one another, as if to drive the point home. Spirit items are, in the simplest terms, items that have been infused with thoughts and feelings. Those who bear such objects will be visited by the spirits within them, or at the very least, be forever privy of their memories. I may not quite look like the part, but I'm actually quite an avid collector of spirit items. Kishinuma and I briefly locked eyes again. We shared the same look of bewilderment. Her personality was much more twisted than either of us initially perceived it to be. I tried to get a fix on the little girl's thoughts, but heard a vengeful cry and saw an image of the girl with braided hair in an abandoned school building. So she took a camera and produced... Oh, so she took an instant camera and took a photo of the image in my mind. Okay, this particular spirit item allows me to produce images from the exact moment in time when the picture is taken. The past and future alike are beyond its reach. I examined the photo in greater detail and a chill ran down my spine. I was actually shaking. Yes, without Sachiko, the school should have collapsed. It should have ceased to exist as soon as we escaped. I believe the collapse was halted, perhaps by right on the brink, even maybe because of the person to whom that voice I heard belongs. She motioned toward the photo in my hand. It could even be the girl in that picture. I wonder who she is. No, definitely not. That girl wouldn't have done it, right? Right. A sudden cold sensation exploded through my body, and I shuddered, trying to shake it off. You really think that it's still around? Kichinuma leaned forward. The conversation was clearly beginning to engage him, a lot more than it had been. Heavenly Host Elementary, or rather, the dimensional space that took on the form of Heavenly Host, fascinated me from the moment I introduced it to Naho. I began to research it independently, and learned its true identity. Something of a new nirvana, or another world, or hereafter. A plane of death. One tends to think of there being only this world and the next. A new nirvana? That's correct. You know about Yoshi Shinozaki, do you not? Yes, I think I do. Her clinic at Shinozaki Estate, where the grimoire known as the Book of Shadows was located. How does she know where the Book of Shadows was? Okay. How could she know about that? A million thoughts, a million questions were running through my head. I was speechless. Oh, we got Yoshi here. Okay. So this is a past. We have Sachiko there in the background. A muffled scream, a moan of agony. I don't know who that is. That's on the ground. There's thrashing, caused a nearby table to fall over. Please, dear, come on now. You need to stay calm. Oh, is this her husband? This was Yoshi's clinic. And Yoshi herself was on top of her husband. Yep. Holding him down with both hands, continuing her purification chant. To prevent him from biting off his own tongue, she gagged him with a towel. Sachiko stood behind, trembling. I don't like that voice in my ear. Okay, I'm not going to read that chant. He was still collapsed on the floor, suffering. His body was bent into a unnatural shape. I beseech thee, in the name of the divine virtues of the gods gathered here, to wash away the sins we've committed and impurities we dwell within our minds and bodies. Sachiko's father screamed through his gag and began frothing from out the edges of his mouth. Oh, the laughing. Shinozaki women from ages past smiled upon the events from the ceiling, laughing and mocking his suffering. Which we did hear that the Shinozaki men all die, so this is not a surprise. Some of the women had traditionally black teeth and gave smiles of a sinister edge. The atmosphere in the room was heavy. Spirits occupied every empty corner. Poor guy. His body bent sharply and began convulsing. Come into this world. Dear, stay with me. Dear. I beg you, please, don't take him. Her great-grandmother, Sarah, the head of the Shinozaki family, was among the black-teeth women, laughing at his suffering. Oh, Sachiko. Daddy. Okay. His voice began to weaken, and his convulsions began to lose strength. The last spark of life had left his body. His eyes rolled back into his head. All moments ceased. Daddy, aren't you breathing? Oh. Sachiko looked up, eyes glazed over with tears. Yoshi, too, was stricken with grief and despair. This is what it means to be a Shinozaki, to be part of the cursed bloodline. All men who marry in are guaranteed to die quickly. Not even Yoshi could circumvent that fate. So she turned to the forbidden book, an item she and her family had been protecting for generations, from those who might misuse it. The Grimoire, the Book of Shadows. So we're going to learn more about the Book of Shadows now? To lose a loved one was a fate she feared more than anything else. So she tried to offset it through black magic. It was foolish. She must have cared for him so deeply that she would have literally done anything to see him again, no matter the cost of her own immortal soul. Aiko stared deeply into my eyes, fishing for a reaction to her tale. But then what happened next was almost beyond belief. I continued listening, stroking the wound on my thigh as memories of my foolish run-in with black magic resurfaced. The Shinozaki blood that flowed through Yoshi's veins was more powerful than any that had ever known. The energy spawned something more different than what Yoshi intended. Of course, I mean. I instantly knew what she was going to say. For the book, she created a new Nirvana. So it was Yoshi that initially created it. It wasn't Sachiko. Is that what you're saying? There's one that could coexist with the dead for all eternity. It was a new dimension cut from the netherworld itself, forcibly born into the world of the living. Oh, we gotta... Okay. Yoshi must have lost half her sanity right there. She tried to leave her own child, Sachiko, in the real world, while living with her husband's soul in the new Nirvana. The land of corpses. Yeah. However, this Nirvana had a mind of its own. Yoshi couldn't possibly control it, Shinozaki or no. I knew that all too well. Just like Yoshi, I have experienced my own tragic failure of black magic at Shinozaki Clinic. Black magic has its own blowback of sorts. Her husband's soul was split apart and scattered in all directions, and Yoshi's life too was on the verge of being snuffed out. She knows she'd made a mistake, and she deeply regretted it. And as she took what she could have only assumed to be her dying breaths, her sole daughter, Sachiko, in possession of nearly limitless spirit potential, absorbed the entirety of the new nirvana in her body. Oh, that poor girl. Sachiko absorbed it all. Okay. The poor girl collapsed on the floor, violently thrashing, the weight of an entire dimension crushing her from the inside. This action had saved her mother's life, but death would have surely been preferable. Picking her up, Yoshi rushed her to the daughter's side in tears. Sachiko, why? Mommy, don't die. Mommy. Both parent and child were bawling, pain mixing with the relief mixed with pain again. Oh, the little girl buried her face in Yoshi's bosom, and then cried and cried. Yoshi grasped her tightly in both arms, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. By this point, Sachiko's body had begun producing a black-blue aura. A dark blue, sorry. I'm sorry, Sachi. I'm sorry Mommy was wrong. Mommy has you, so from now on, Mommy will never leave you. How is that going to work out? As you know, Sachiko is a direct descendant of the Shinozaki line, a thoroughbred. This means her power is greater than Yoshi's. It had to be, of course, for her to house an entire dimension with her body. Aiko took a big, noisy sip from her coffee mug. At the time, she must have been the strongest practitioner of dark arts in the world, little girl or no. Yet despite that, she wound up dying. That's right. The same day Yoshi fell and died, Sachiko disappeared. That was 50 years ago now. They were both killed by the principal. Just as I suspected. The principal's heinous actions are to blame. Then, for resurrecting the new nirvana within Sachiko, and creating the closed spaces we know as Heavenly Host Elementary. It's probably because the school was the site of Sachiko's violent demise that her nirvana took on its form. Even then, with Sachiko reborn as a spirit in the realm, she was still all-powerful, seemingly continuing to exert complete control over it. All started to make sense. The pieces were falling into place. When you escaped, you removed Sachiko from the equation, but the nirvana remained, and it's going berserk once more. But it should have disappeared. This world should be better off without it. This entire conversation was a roller coaster of emotions. But at this point, I was just angry. Angry at everyone involved. And myself included. I'd like to discuss something outlandish with you. Okay. Would you like to see your dead friends again? You know she does. You know she does. Come on. That certainly got our attention. We both perked our heads up immediately. Spirits that have died in Nirvana are said to roam its grounds, trapped, unable to find rest. Your friend's souls may still exist on that plane. There are actually a number of useful magics listed in the Book of Shadows. Aside from the spell Yoshi's used to create a new Nirvana, there's also a spell of revival. Can we actually bring our friends back, though? That's what I don't think so. They're all gonna die. They're all just dead already. Nakashima and I knew about it, that one too well. They already tried it. Forcefully returning a life to this plane is, of course, dreadfully taboo. Will of God by virtually all religious organizations is taboo. Oh, yeah. Ha! He's lost. He's lost. Come on. Seemed a bit confused, and he probably should have been. I'd performed that spell, the very one that she described. It took hours, and I failed miserably, and killed my sister, all at once. What if they did the spell inside Heavenly Host, where their friends' souls are? So Aiko grinned at me, and I had a sinking suspicion of why, because she somehow knew what I was thinking. Who cares about that, right? You can be a blasphemous. Break every commandment, bring it on. You'll do whatever it takes to resurrect your dead friends, no? All you have to do is find the book and cast a spell once more within Heavenly Hosts. I was correct. Your chances of success would be much, much higher there, don't you think? Do you have any idea what you're saying? What's happened? I didn't exactly mean to interrupt him. I was too forceful. I was too focused on Aiko had said. You know about it, don't you? Our failed attempt. Aiko tilted her head. Same smile. She had gone from cold and motionless to knowing and expressive. I don't think we really believed what would happen to us. What we saw was impossible. What we experienced was impossible. I thought I was going insane. It should have been possible. But it was real. Aiko pointed to the scar on my neck, and then one step further, lightly brushed it with her hand. I could feel the touch deep within my soul. You came in contact with something ordinary people could never have even imagined. Do you really think you could just turn your tail and run from that now? I looked down again, trying my best to avoid Aiko's gaze. Do you really think I can do that? I could tell, though, she was smiling at me. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Can you be more specific? Can I really? Yes, yes, what is it? What exactly is it you wish to accomplish? Can I bring everybody back? Oh, nicely done. Aiko patted my head, like one's might a dog's. What the Grimoire produces are miracles, spawned from the wisdom of the witches. Miracles hold power to bend fate, even if that fate is set in stone, so to speak. You are the descendant of the House Shinozaki, a member of the immensely powerful practitioners of magic. Her confidence was bolstered by the minute. There is still something I could do for my friends. But wait, I don't even know where the Book of Shadows is anymore. You're no longer able to travel to Heavenly Hosts by the way of the Sachiko Everafter ritual. Now that Sachiko is gone, correct? That's right. That's what Yuki said anyways. A girl from school. Oh, she put the stones in her hand, fitted them together. That's where this comes in. What are they? They house an exceptional amount of spiritual energy. They're spiritual items from the Shinozaki line. They're called Everafter stones. Name shivers down my spine. These two are one. Fit them together like a puzzle piece and chant Nirvana, I summon the dead. And all who are in direct and indirect contact with them will be spirited away. So that's going to be used as the Sachiko Everafter charm. We all flinched at her chant. But she smiled. She must have intentionally oriented the stones the wrong way, so the charm wouldn't activate. She tossed the stones we'd been holding into her right hand and clacked them together. Strange, isn't it? This girl taught me the technique herself. Okay, so we can go back to Heavenly Host. The items Aiko held in her left hand were extraordinarily dangerous. However, her left hand held the stones where her right hand was feeling around in her breast pocket. She slowly removed it, producing an old black and white photograph. When had she taken that? Okay. Yoshi and her mother. And Sachiko. So, Yoshi would go to her aunt's house, okay? The Shizuaki family, most famous for their spiritual abilities. Surviving elder of the society felt it was too dangerous to leave these items in the wherever. So he came to steal the Book of Shadows away from them. But he felt it would be more dangerous for the book and stones to remain together. So he gave the book to Yoshi and the stones to Makina. I'd never heard those terms before. I'd never had either. But there was the Book of Shadows again. Why did it keep coming up? You remember Sachiko Shinozaki from that school, and in doing so you created the one perfect storm of opportunity. Two-way travel to and from the dimension is now possible. It's no longer a one-way road. A new spiritual hotspot. Something not of this world has been born. So we can go there and back without, like, dying or anything. Cool. She thrust the stones toward me triumphantly, continuing to make her pitch, growing more excited by the second. Don't you see? The place is a gold mine. People can no longer claim the world of spirits is fake. Occult research can be legitimized. I'm considering bringing people to that cursed dimension on tour, if I can. Oh my. To make a little extra cash. We reacted at that. Yeah, I can understand reacting at that. I've deleted the proxy doll data from Naho's blog, so now... So no one can be able to jump that way anymore. What could she possibly be thinking? I wanted to stop her once. I wanted to take these stones and break them right there on the spot. But when I began conducting these tours, however, I want to make customers my safety my top priority. And you seek your friend's spirits, do you not? Well, reinvestigating that dimension could help you reach that goal. Our destinations are the same, Ayumi. Her breath was scented with sweet, sugary sweetness. So what do you say? Let's go back to Heavenly Host Elementary together. One more time, shall we? I really wanted to get tours using the paper dolls, but missing my chance. I have these lovely stones. She seemed on top of the world, but that just made all more disgusting. That made me all the more disgusted with her. I can understand that. So how about it? She was offering a chance to save her lost friends, but she also wanted to sell, like, make tours. I still couldn't say yes. Couldn't say no. I can't answer that right now. Give me some time to think. I couldn't bear to look his... We don't know where the Book of Shadows is anyways. Plus, how do we know these stones are actually do what you say? There's no way you could have tried, right? Aiko smiled. She oriented the two stones they'd formed a perfect yin-yang symbol, slotted them together once again. Immediately, stones began to glow. A stream of energy started to form around her. Is she going now? You gotta be kidding me. She continued to smile, looked deeply into my eyes. No need to decide now. Think it over. It's true the full range of these stones' power have yet to be tested. So their true danger is yet to be undetermined. She separated the two stones and said this, the energy surrounding her dissipating. They're from the home of Makina Shinozaki. Their authenticity is credibility, and the intelligence is hard to dispute. Can I see them? He's gonna break them. He grabbed the stones from Aiko's hand and began examining them carefully. Hard to believe that was inside the box. You weren't planning on keeping these, were you? She seemed aback by the question. Half the credit for finding them due to Shinozaki risking her skin. She pondered these words. Well, let's make sure neither of us can go by ourselves. We'll each keep one. Alright, give me one. Kishima plopped one of the stones in my hand, then slipped the other back into the drawstring pouch Aiko had brought them in. He then handed the pouch back to the rightful owner. Feel free to give me a call anytime you'd like. And don't worry, I'll help you find the Book of Shadows, free of charge. She flashed the biggest smile I think I'd ever seen. When we find it, you will go with me, won't you? I closed my eyes and gave something like a half-hearted half nod, and nodded my head. That being the case, it's on me today. Go up and grab the check. No, I'll pay for mine. Dutch it is then. Hee hee. I almost forgot. I'd like you to have this. She handed the autograph to me. No, then. It's not going to bite. Just take it with my blessing. Oof. That was a lot. I despise her. Me too. Yeah, all the others that have died. As soon as I'm done with those 4, I'm breaking the stone. I'm right there with you. Better make sure to break the other one, though, too, while you're at it. He had the other stone? That's smart. Oh, sticky, sticky hands. Kishinuma. She doesn't know what it's like to be in that school. She was actually getting excited. I helped myself while she wasn't looking. That's amazing. You're terrible. That's correct. Hey, serious business calls for serious action. Okay. The whole situation with Suzimoto and the others should probably be just left alone, don't you think? You've gone through so much already. You're close to dying. Yeah, the others wouldn't want that, the ones that have died, yeah. That might not be true. Shinozaki, just stop. Do you know how much Satoshi and Nakashima have been worrying about you? I'm sorry. But Kishinuma, please, you have to understand. I just need a little more. I need you to humor me just a little bit longer. Please let me do this. Don't give her the other stone. Listen, you're not going to do it alone. I'm going to keep one of the stones. Okay. Okay, at least she doesn't have both the stones, because she would go directly there. It'll be alright, you know. I turned my gaze up to meet Kishinuma's eyes. My eyes must have looked like saucers. If anything happens, don't hesitate to call me, okay? I'm here for you. I don't want you blindly rushing into dangerous situations like you did yesterday. May not be able to offer much, but I'm confident I can at least protect you from harm. Kishinuma patted me on the head, reassuringly as he said this. I had no idea how to react. I felt warm and safe, but also a little annoyed, much like a younger sister, being comforted and scolded by a big brother. All I could say in response was, okay. I could feel my eyes starting to bulge from my head. Come on then, let's go home. Okay, let's end this off here. This is already a little bit longer than I was expecting, but we just finally got to a place where I can save. So, I'll go ahead and... I guess I won't save because we need a candle. So yeah, I will go ahead and either find somewhere to save or I'll just continue on. Who knows? So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed so far. That was just a lot of reading. That was a long bit. So, I mean, it might be a little boring. I was starting to get a little tired by reading. But hopefully this next part won't be as much. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next episode. So, bye!